Hey guys, Jeroen here. In this video I want to take a look at Atom, which is a sound design library by Audiomodern. It's not brand new, it's been around for some time. There are also another couple of videos actually on YouTube about Atom, but I'm going to use a bit of a different approach. So I definitely do recommend you to check out the other videos. There's one that goes where they go through all the sounds. There's another one where the interface is explained and the functionalities. What I've done is I've made a track using only Atom, nothing else. And I thought it might be interesting to just play this track for you and then go through how I've made it and play you the sounds separately and so on. So let's have a listen first and then we'll dissect it. Okay, so that's the track I made. Hope you liked it. So, what is Audiomodern? First of all, as I mentioned already before at the beginning of the video, it is primarily a sound design library. Now, as you could tell, this is not a sound design library like the ones you are used to. At least that's what I would think. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I am. But most of the sound design libraries that I have and that I own are aimed at the hybrid, epic and big type of compositions, you know. I mean, not everything, but of course I'm thinking mostly when I talk about sound design, I'm mostly thinking about booms, impacts, brams, risers, downers and stuff like that. And Atom is very different in that. That's the first point. Sound design library, but yeah, I would say different than the most of the others that I know. Secondly, the type of atmosphere that you get from Atom is also not aimed at the big and epic type of compositions, but it's more aimed at ambient type of things and the softer genre. Now, of course, I wouldn't be me if I wouldn't try to do some unlogical things with it, or maybe unnatural. My God, unnatural things. What I mean is I wanted to see how far I could go. I could have gone even further. I mean, you will hear later when we go through the percussion that it has some heavy percussion in there as well. If you would need that, didn't want to go that far. Mostly, in my case, it inspired me to make something like the soundtracks that I'm listening to a lot lately. I'm talking about soundtracks from Steve Jablonski, for example. I'm talking about the soundtrack of The Arrival by Johan Johansson. Alien Covenant, those soundtracks which are very ambient, very dark, and I wanted to do something like that, but with some percussive and rhythmic elements in there as well. So that's why I went for something like this. Okay, so that's mainly what it's all about. I suggest we go through the sounds. What I've done, you may notice here I have a bunch of folders. Let me put it like that. See. So here I have Atmos, effects, keys, percussion, sequence, and synth. Why do I have that? Because that is how Atom is also subdivided. Let me give you a quick example. I'm going to use this one to play certain sounds. So if you look here, so we have Atom, the interface, and then here you can choose actually combinations. I'll talk about that in a second. So you have a whole list here starting with Atmos, and then going to effects, a bunch of keys, and so on. So when I got started on this track, I decided to already make some groups up front and use a bit, you know, all of the elements in there. About the Atmos, I'm going to be very brief about the Atmos. Why? Because there is a video already where I think it was Thorsten Meyer who made that video. He goes through a whole bunch of atmospheric sounds, so I'm not going to do that again. I'm just going to play the ones that I've used here, and then we'll leave it at that. So let me just solo this. Alright, you get the idea. In general, what I would like to say about the atmospheric sounds is that they are my favorite element of Atom. Literally every atmospheric combination. So why do I talk about combinations? Because if you use this one here and you pick one of the list, you will get two different layers. And of course, here in each layer, you can also separately select a sound. Right. Like I said, I'm not going to go into the into playing all the sounds for you. In any case, all the Atmos, really love them. Every one I picked was spot on, and it was really up my street, the kind of thing that I liked. The only one, because you may have noticed that this line here is empty, this track is empty, but I did want to play the analog strings for you. So beautiful sound. And like that, there's a whole bunch of them. Let me just go through a few anyway. Cannot help myself. You see, I'm not even cheating. I'm just going through the first 3, 4, and they're all great. So Atmos, love them. That's the only thing I'm going to say about that. And then we get to the FX section. Let me just open this. Oh, yeah. FX. What do we have? FX1. The effects is something after I had the main composition done, you know, the melody was there and the structure was there, you know, then I just started filling up with the effects. So this is something I did at a later stage. So yeah, of course, it is a sound design library, so you need to have some effects, and they got some really cool ones. I haven't done anything special with the interface for the effects. I mean, with the options that you have here, I did some equalizing here, but nothing really worth mentioning. So I'll keep that for other elements. FX2 short risers. There are not a lot of risers and downers in Atom. So again, here it stands out from the rest, or it's a bit different than the rest, which is okay. You know, you've got plenty of libraries already with risers and downers and booms and impacts. So this is not really their main focus, and that is totally okay. Of course, I did, as my purpose was to make a track only using Atom, I did try to get, you know, whatever I needed in terms of risers and downers and so on. I did try to get it out of there, and they have it. So what have I used here? Atmos effects. I've used atomic impacts and Atmos. Okay. This type of effects, you know. Maybe they don't even qualify necessarily as risers, but they do have that effect in any transition, you know, when you go from one part of the composition to another. So let me play it to you in context. It's this one. Oh yeah, good that I played this one. I like this one a lot. It really creates this space, you know. I like you're, yeah, it's hard to say, space. You feel that? It's like, yeah, you're in, I don't know. I cannot explain what I have in my imagination, but this, you know, I wanted to aim with this track for something soundtrack-like, and then I immediately have a whole story and a whole image in my head. So I'm hoping it does the same thing to you. I'm not going to try to explain what it does in my head. All right. Then what do we have? Stutter Riser. I invent. Sometimes I apologize. I invent words myself. So this is like a riser that stutters kind of thing. Let's see what this is. Okay, what have I done here? And did it play that sound? Yeah. Let's take a look. So I have two different layers here. First one is the dead stop, which is the slow riser type of thing. And the second one is, let me see, which one was it? This one here. This one, the atomic transitions, has just under every key, it has a different type of transition. So but you're noticing the stutter part. Let's pull up the original. So which one is this dead stop? Let's go to this one here and open up in the effects section. Dead stop. Does it give me the same? Yes, it is. So I did keep the elements as they were, but then I've done some stuff with it. So originally it sounds like this. Slow riser there, and on this side we have this. So it doesn't have the stutter. Now, you're probably thinking, for those of you who've seen the other videos, so we have layer 1, layer 2, and then here you can tweak layer 1 and layer 2. So what you're probably thinking is that I have put the stutter, which you have here, on this layer, which I could have done. Let's see. A bit faster. that could have gotten me the same effect. But what I wanted to do, I'm going to turn this off again, I wanted to have that stutter kind of effect on both layers. And again, here I could have gone to this layer, set the stutter, and then go to layer 2 and set the stutter to the exactly same kind of thing. But what I've done here was something a bit different. And that is I've used the LFO, if I'm not mistaken. So I've used this one. Let me just check if I'm not lying here. Yes, I've used that one. So let's go back here. I'm not sure what the rate was. No, faster. Not slower, faster. Right. Why have I used this? Because the LFO has effect on both elements. So I have it now on this one. You hear it stuttering? And I've got it here. So yeah, I think that's the most important thing I've done. For the rest, I may have tweaked a bit here and there, but we'll explain that for some other elements. So that was the Stutter Riser. Then the downer, not much I've done there, I think. Let's see. Which one have I used? Stepping down. I may have pulled this up a bit, but for the rest, sorry, layer 2. No, I haven't done anything special. So let's just play it quickly in context. And then you get this pause, and then you build up to the action part. So I thought that would be in its place there. Right, then we have the impact. And what have we done here? Yeah, you have lots of nice impacts here. Let me just play a few of you. I haven't done much here. How can I tell so quickly, by the way, just in case you didn't know? If I would have turned anything on, you would see the little light here burning. So I haven't used any delay. And I haven't used the equalizing either. So haven't done much here. Right. I did do something interesting here in the end. So you see, let me open this up a bit more. You can see that I've done a lot of little things here. This is, again, impacts is what I do at the end. You know, when my composition is there, I start filling up the whole thing. That's what, of course, sound design is mostly about. Let's go to this part here and see what I've done. Those are some things which are almost inaudible, but it fills up everything. You know, these little details are important. But here at the end, just listen to what happens. You hear that? You know, it adds a bit to the rhythm. So let's go back and just solo it. So I thought that was that's also the fun part about sound design. You've got your composition. And then you start filling it up with all these typical things, like, for example, impacts. But then you still get these, while you're doing that, you still get these ideas, and then you can still come to quite surprising results, like, or find small elements that do make a difference. And I kind of believe that for the rhythmic part does make a difference. Right. Keys. What did we do with the keys? Hail. Okay. Now here I can already tell that I've used an arpeggiator. I would be surprised if I'm wrong. Yeah. Very simple one. I pulled all of the... I don't need to explain how the arpeggiator works. I think that kind of speaks for itself. Although, this is layer 2, and we're looking at layer 1. So it's only this one here that does the trick. Exactly. So here you have your arpeggiator for layer 1 and your arpeggiator for layer 2. I guess I had another element on layer 1, but I've deleted it. Let's take a look at what it was. Okay. Could have been cool as well. Not sure why I didn't use it. Maybe it was too aggressive or too loud. Okay. Yeah, so let's play this also in context. Where do I have it? Let's play the end part. Let's take a quick look at how I've made it. So, for, which one was it? Hail, right? Forgot. Hail. Let's go to hail. Keys and then hail. By the way, this list here, the one that you get when you click here, is not going to give you the same. It's going to give you combinations, and sometimes the name will be the same, but sometimes it will also be different than the elements that you get here. In this case, hail here and hail there, so same name, but it's not always the case. So the combinations of the two layers sometimes have a different name. So this is the original out of the box, and I went from there to this. So you see, you can do, I can try to recreate that. You can try to, let me cheat a little bit and see how I've done this. Nothing here as far as I can tell. I've tuned it up and stutter and delay. All right, let's give it a try. Stutter and delay. I love this drive, by the way. It never goes too far. It's I mean, you don't never goes too far. By that I mean that you never have to be afraid to pull it up all the way, which is something different for the resonance. You know, that can cause some ear pain if you pull it up too high. I played really a lot with these filters, sometimes a bit too much, where I noticed that at the end of, or when I got at a certain point in my composition, I noticed, oh, I'm drowning too many of my sounds and it's becoming too fuzzy. But I love playing with this. By the way, now that I say this, I have not used a lot of, in my mastering, I have not used a lot of effects. As you can see here, I've used Neutron on 4 tracks, and I've used Ozone in the mastering, and that's all I did. So for the rest, for all the other tracks, I did my equalizing and so on in Atom itself. I mean, for me personally, Atom, yeah, it just, I don't know, the way Atom is built, and it just made me want to do it in each track separately. So I preferred it that way. Again, like I said, when I was composing, I did a bit too much, and I was like, for each sound separately, I was like, oh yeah, I like this, and then make it sound very, very, yeah, I call it drown those sounds. But then after a while, you realize you've done that to too many elements, and then you have to start tweaking a little bit again. But in the end, it was not too much work, and yeah, I prefer doing it here. Okay, how did it sound here? think this is getting a bit closer. You see what I've been doing. So, I mean, and you hear the effect it has. It's really great. So this, and then of course on top of that, the arpeggiator, which you turn on here. And then, you know, I pulled everything down and so on. You get the idea. Yeah. Then we get to the percussion. Let's have a listen at the percussion. Starting here. Okay, for the percussion, I started quite simple. I started with this one here. I have to cheat and check what I've... Right, this one here. Okay. Let's pull up the original. So, atomic slams. Let's listen at how that sounds originally. Go to the mix and then percussion. And then atomic slams. Okay, here's the original. Duh, would help of course if I would turn off my solo. That's a lot more powerful, which is of course not always what you need. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I didn't want to try and make an epic trailer track with this. That was not the idea. It was the idea to set a certain atmosphere, which I'm not going to try to explain. Something futuristic is what comes to my mind. So yeah, here's the original, and I've doubled that up, or at least I've created 2 layers. Let me just go through some of the original sounds first. Needless to tell you that they've got some real powerful stuff in here. So you could not tell that from my track, but you can hear it now. The atomic slams have not stolen their name. They really are very powerful, as the name indicates. Anyway, I've tweaked them to get something softer. And I've put an arpeggiator on it. If I would turn it off. So this is the sound that I have. First one this. Second one this. This one has a bit more of the drive there. So if you combine those two, you get this, which has a certain power to it as well, but different than the original sound. Then I started, and of course this is, for me, always nice when I'm composing. I like to have a certain rhythm, and then I either go for loops or I go for an arpeggiator. So what I've done here is, I think I started with the first layer. Very simple, you know, start very simple and then start building up on top of that. So then I came to the second layer, where I just let the first arpeggiator do its thing and then build up the second arpeggiator to match. And as you can see here, also very simple, but still there is a difference. No, there's not. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the paranormal kicks. Stupid me. Okay, anyway, you get the idea. So I created the sound, put the arpeggiator on it, and kept it really simple. And then the building up is what happened with some of the other percussive elements. Now, I have here percussion 1 and 2, which are also, actually, they're doing exactly the same thing, if I'm not mistaken again. Let me see. Yeah, so if I just solo out these two. Slightly different. This one has an extra little kick to it. Damn, ta-damn, like that. Okay, so once I had that, I started building up with, I believe, the paranormal kicks. Not sure if I'm using the correct key here. Let's see. Right. This one. So what do we have? Paranormal kicks. Let's get the original. Percussion. Paranormal kicks. This is the original. Let's go through the sounds again first. Really cool sound. So this is the one I've used. So again, here I've started to change the sound. Let's turn off the arpeggiators. Right. And then with help of the first two percussive rhythms that I created, I started to build up this one, which eventually led to this. So let's play these two. And then added the second one. So that one has the most, or the fastest rhythm to it. And that's why I always start like I did here in Percussion 1. I start with something very simple, very basic, and then build up with the rest. And it's just a matter of, for example, there's different ways to do it, but the way I do it, I pull everything down and I start pulling up, hold the key down and then started pulling these up and down again until you've got the right rhythm. So in the end, that's a very easy way to work, in my opinion. Okay, on top of the percussion here and the paranormal kicks, I've added the congas. Let's see what the congas do. I should see which key I've used. Yeah, this element here. I think that's one of the two. Yeah, I like this. This is again typical sound design, these little elements that make a difference. So two completely different things. Again, this one is quite simple, just one here. And then this one. And in context. And I've used a second layer of congas, which is completely different. I wanted like a percussive riser type of thing. Let's listen. Have I done that everywhere? I guess so. Yeah, so it goes up and down. In context. Then we have the percussion effects. It's actually this layer here. Maybe let's turn this one off. This layer here has the effects. And as you could see, I doubled that up with a sound called mist. And the reason why I did that is because I wanted to have something like an atmospheric tail. So this one is a sound with a slow attack. And you can see that here in my composition, you can see, where am I? Here. You see these long lines here. That's where I've, kept pressing the note to get that tail. So let's have a listen. The tail is quite soft. It's an atmospheric sound, but I just wanted to have that in there. So in context. All right. Then we have the slam scissors. No, that's a name I did not invent myself. Well, a little bit. Okay, slam scissors, you get it. Let's take the two elements separate. So the atomic slams we've heard before, and here we have the scissors. Now these scissors, doesn't matter which note I play. I'm playing this one here, but if I go lower, you don't really hear a difference here. But the range of this atomic slams is not as big. It only goes from here to there or something, more or less. So I can hit this key and only hear the scissor sequence. And then here I have the atomic slams. Now let's focus on the scissor sequence thingy. This type of sound I haven't used that much in the past, but at Audiomodern they have a library where they have a lot of glitches, and I'm not saying this is a glitch, but it kind of reminds me of those glitch type of sounds. And in the beginning I wasn't so sure how to use that, and I really wanted to give it a try in this composition to use that and see if it would fit and so on. So I'm going to play it here. So it's this part here. So you will hear it coming out. It creates this high frequency element in the percussive part, which I think it really fits in there. How did I call scissors? Okay, let's see how it sounded originally. I don't know if it was very different. Scissors. There we go. Yeah, I changed the sound a little bit, and here you have two layers. I've only kept one. Or maybe I didn't. Let's see now. I think I kept it like this. So I just removed this or replaced this layer with another sound. Okay. Then we get to the sequence part. This is the bass. So EP Horizon. You know, I wrote bassline here. What I've done here, you see, this is a WAV file, but it was originally made with EP Horizon. But the two sound very different. I originally created this one, but I needed, because of the arpeggiator that I used, or because of, anyway, the loop, however I created it, don't remember exactly. I wanted to be able to cut it off, which I wasn't able to do here. I needed the sound to stop in a certain, or the loop to stop in a certain way. And the best solution I found was to do that with a WAV file. Let's just play this one here. I know this one doesn't sound very bassy. Originally it was, but then I created the bass line, made a WAV file out of it, and then I went back to the original and tweaked the sound a bit so it was more I took the bass out basically, but it was nice to add on top of the original bass. So let's just have a listen at both. So that's how that sounds. And I did add a bit of neutron to it. I think it was what did I do? Yeah, especially the exciter here that made quite a difference. So let's just play it with the. So I made it a bit more dirty, a bit. Yeah. So I thought that would make a nice difference. And then here, where's my? Why am I not seeing it? I believe I did some automation here and I don't know where it has gone. Anyway, doesn't really matter. Here it's a bit softer still, and then it will build up more as of here. You hear the bass come in more. So here at this moment the rhythm comes in, the more up tempo, the more aggressive rhythm comes in. And then I thought I'd wait a little bit with the bass to kick in. So that actually starts here at 35, which I thought had a nice effect. You almost don't hear the bass here. Okay, I hope you hear what I mean. So yeah, AP Horizon is the bass line. Let's listen to the original. Don't remember how the original sounds. So it was in sequence, EP Horizon. So by default, yeah, let's turn this off. Okay, they put an atmospheric sound here. Atom EP is one of the Atmos. Oh, this one is as well. Okay. Okay, so this is what I meant before. A good example. Didn't remember. So EP Horizon is not really the name of a certain sound used in a layer. EP Horizon is a combination, in this case, of Atom EP and Atom EP here. And if I'm not mistaken, Atom EP. Okay, so it's part of the keys. Am I in the key section? No, I'm in the sequence section. Anyway, you get the idea. So that was the bass that I've used. And then I have the ants. Oh yeah, what I've done here, this is the... Where is it? Come on, ants, where are you? Don't remember. Let's see which key I've used here. So you hear what I've done there, but this one is a different note. You will recognize it from the track. Okay, I must be losing my mind. Okay, so I thought this was a different sound. It will be the synth that I actually meant. But okay, let's focus on the ants. So, almost inaudible element. That one. also this adds to the rhythm, so good. Not much to say about that. And then we have the synth, and this is the one that I meant earlier. Yeah, that sound. Love this sound. I'm actually overusing this also in other compositions. A sound like this. It has this. Yeah, again, I should not try to explain what's in my mind, but in my fantasy, in my fantasies. But let me tell you about my fantasies. No, this, yeah, cannot explain it. Anyway, love this type of sound, so I really wanted to use it again. It really sets an atmosphere for me. So let's hear from the beginning. What else have I used? You hear it's not only the ping, but also which is which. So that's that one. And then we have this. Oh, sorry, my ants are still walking. Okay. So an atmospheric sound. Animuk Combi. How did I get to that? Let me see. Animuk Combi. I want to see how it sounded originally. Synth. Animuk Combi. So from there I went to so okay, this linear is a sound that I added, and the diode as well. Okay, so I completely changed everything here. That happens. Okay, fine. Here a bit further, I just use the ping. Sorry about that, sorry. I still use the ping every now and then, just to, yeah, to have it in there, to set that atmosphere. That to me tells the whole story, just that simple ping. All right, you get the idea. Right, that was my track. Are there any others that I should play for you? As you can see, the list is very long, and these are all combinations, so there might be even more separate sounds for the layers. Again, Atmos, really great. Effects, there's also a whole bunch of them there. I think I've only scratched the surface. I've just used 1 or 2 of these maximum. You have some risers, you have not a lot, but you have some. These guitar things are also cool. That's okay, FX. This one. You recognize those sounds, I've used those. Oh, I'm just, it's so tempting to go through everything with you, but yeah, I'm not gonna waste more of your time. I think you get the idea. There's other videos, like I said, where you can hear where they audition the sound, so you can listen there. I've really had a lot of fun playing with this. So to summarize, one thing I'd like to add, because I've already mentioned a lot of things. A while ago, I made a video about Paths, which is also a library from Audiomodern, and Paths is a loop-based library, which is very handy if you need to make quick compositions, like I do sometimes for TV type of tunes and all kinds of tunes, background music, and for videos and so on. And I remember when I played with Paths, I remember thinking like, wow, I like the sound, but I wish I had a library to add to this, And what I had in mind is exactly what Atom is. It's within that same atmosphere, which I don't have really in any other Kontakt libraries. I'm mostly a Kontakt man. I have most of the libraries that I use in all of my compositions are Kontakt. I don't have a lot of other things. And I think in the world of Kontakt, I do miss a lot of synthesizer type of things, and also for ambiences. I haven't discovered so many in that genre that I like, and that's mainly why I was so happy to find Atom, because I love the atmospheres. I love the type of sound design. I love the fact that it's so different, and it is a great addition also to pads, which I use quite a bit in fast compositions that I have to make. So I was really happy with it, and on top of that, it's easy to learn. I mean, you create a layer, and then select that layer here and start tweaking, and especially with that filter, but also with the stutter and the drive and the delay as well. Actually everything, mostly filter, stutter, delay, and the drive I've used a lot. Chorus a bit less, lo-fi also a bit less. The reverb I've used. It's really easy. It's very intuitive, and you easily get to very different sounds very quickly. So yeah, I loved playing with it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you've learned something. I hope that you enjoyed watching it, and I'm going to leave it at this. Thank you very much for watching, and until the next one. Bye bye.